So I've had several of my clients lately ask me about cardio and why am I doing cardio in this way? Can I do this? Can I do that in place of it? So what I usually assign on cardio for my clients is anywhere from a 4-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio, which just means you'll do 4 minutes of a low intensity or 3 minutes of a low intensity followed by a 1-minute sprint or a 30-second sprint, something like that. The reason I do cardio in this manner is because if your heart rate stays elevated the entire time you're doing cardio, you're not actually burning body fat while you're doing cardio at all. Your heart rate is what determines which fuel your body is going to use. Your body always has the choice of using carbohydrates, fats, or proteins for energy. And when your heart rate, usually, it depends on a lot of factors, but usually the change from burning fat over to glucose or fat over to carbohydrates takes place around 65 to 75% of your max heart rate. So when your heart rate gets elevated, you don't burn body fat anymore, you burn carbohydrates, simply because your body can manufacture ATP or energy more quickly from glucose than it can from body fat. So that's why I do cardio in this manner. When you do a 4-to-1 interval, number one, that lets your heart rate get back down into a fat burning zone between your sprints. Number two, when you do sprint, that manipulates the catecholamines, which are epinephrine and norepinephrine, and those hormones help to mobilize stored body fat. So when you hit your sprint, you're mobilizing stored body fat, and then between your sprints, you're dropping back down into the fat burning zone to burn the body fat that you've mobilized. If you're running long distances and keeping your heart rate elevated above 65 to 75% of your max heart rate the entire time, then you're not ever burning the body fat until you step off the machine. Now, obviously, there is calories burned after you get off the machine, known as EPOC, or excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption. All that means is all the calories that's required to replenish and repair the damage that you did while you were exercising. Personally, I want to manipulate the hormones while I'm on the machine, burn the body fat while I'm on the machine, and get the benefits of the EPOC when I get off the machine, which doing the interval training is going to allow you to do that. So I always throw out the example of a marathon runner's body. It's not pretty. It's skinny fat. They have almost no muscle. And as a side note, if you're doing cardio, long bouts of cardio, and you actually deplete your glucose or carbohydrates or your glycogen while you're doing cardio, you don't swap back over to using body fat when it's gone. You actually transition over to amino acids, and that just means catabolism. Literally, you're breaking down your muscle tissue for energy. So obviously that's not ideal. So anyway, it really doesn't matter what form of cardio you're using as long as you're controlling your heart rate while you're doing it. And anyway, that's my 2 cents for the day. I hope this helps out somebody and gives a little more clarity to why I assign my cardio the way I do.